KGC, Panama City.
Welcome to Creative Conversations, the show where we welcome the heart of creativity and the people who keep it beating for our community. I'm Jayson Kretzer, and you can join the conversation by emailing creativeconversations@bayarts.org or by visiting facebook.com/Bay Creative Conversations. Today, I'm super excited because I'm just going to do the whole show alone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joined by three of my friends in the studio. I've got Sarah Bailey, the visionary behind the new current.dtpc.
That's the social media tag.
Okay.
Current.
It's just current.
Just current.
All right, let's go with that. Current. Let's be current.
Yeah.
Also, Kelsey Iman, singer-songwriter.
That's me.
Yes. And our returning guest, Calliope Pettis, also a singer-songwriter.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Welcome back. Just couldn't get enough.
That's right.
Yep. So, let's let everybody know who you guys are first. So, who wants to go first? Sarah, Kelsey. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in Panama City?
Okay. I've been in Panama City since I was 10, originally from Louisiana. My mom came over here. She got a job with the school district and lured me over with pictures of the cove and the beach. That'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
So I've grown up here, and it's been a great place to grow up. I went to school here at Gulf Coast and Florida State and ended up buying a building on Harrison Avenue and have had all kinds of fun opportunities to meet people. Calliope. That's how I met this wonderful woman, through that opportunity. So I've had a few businesses there, and the new one is, I think, a little more focused on music, like back in the original vision of the space. And I don't know, I could talk about all kinds of things, but that seems the most relevant.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you're creative as well. You've done some immersive things.
I'm actually a secret singer-songwriter.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Dang it.
But Kelsey's face was hilarious.
I
know.
levitated out of my seat.
No, I don't do that. But I dabble in lots of different creative pursuits. Usually they involve big spaces that I'm filling up with weird things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelsey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in Alabama. I moved here in 2015 for what was supposed to be a summer job, and then just kind of never left. I would try, and then things would happen like hurricanes or pandemics and would land me right back here. But thankfully I found like a very good community in all of my little downtown folks.
I love it. Downtown has really blossomed a lot. You've been around long enough. You were here before the storm. Sarah, you guys had a spot. So tell me about that transition. I know people have heard it a bunch, but it's such a monumental moment.
Well, my boy's dad, Maddie, and I had a screen print company, and we were doing it out of the house. And so we had our address listed as the business address, and people would come by. And I had like a newborn, a 2-year-old, a golden retriever, and Matt would be out back printing shirts. I'm just like, we can't do it this way. So we started looking for a storefront, and it was, even back then, a little out of our reach.
Right.
But my dad knew a guy who had a spot that he really didn't see much value in and wanted to sell it. So we were actually able to do an owner finance. No, that's not true. I don't remember. That was an option. But anyway, got a building that we had to really gut and bring back to life. And that's another one of my passions. I love remodeling and refurbishing old buildings. And this one was a real treat and a lot of work. And it's, had several different evolutions, but the storm and working with you back then, I'll never forget that conversation where you called me a creative before I would have ever dreamed of considering myself that, and I'm always grateful to you for that. And, yeah, just lots of different fun things that we've done that I always want that space to be focused on local art and a venue, which I don't really use that word, but it works. I feel not just music, but all kinds of creative processes can be showcased in that space, and I'd love to see more of that. So if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you kind of describe the space to somebody who hasn't been in there? Like, what can they expect when they come in?
Well, first of all, the first thing that comes to mind is originally when I did a bunch of research with the ladies at the library on what it was.
Right.
And it was the original spot for Moon Jewelry, which ended up moving to where Tom's is now. So if you look on the tile when you walk into Tom's, it says Moon, and that's why. Oh. But before that, it was just a pass-through between two buildings into a parking area. And it's so funny because it does have this feel of, it's a long, skinny building, and it's just got that feel of, you know, a passageway, a portal.
Right.
Yeah. And so I don't know how to describe it. It's a mix of retail. I'm really proud of the retail that we have, and lots of local people who are selling their stuff, you know, people that make candles or jewelry. And then we have a little cafe now. We're focused on herbal mocktails, which has been a fun thing to add in. And
right.
I don't know.
I like my team went and we all got a mocktail, and one of the creative ways that you presented the Molotov cocktail.
Molotov mocktail.
Molotov mocktail. Okay.
Well, you don't want to be too overtly anarchist.
No.
But hey, a little never hurt nobody.
It's really cute, you guys.
It really
it's
is.
in a bottle, and there's a straw with a dried mimosa flower, so it looks like a spark.
Mm-hmm.
You're always so creative.
Yeah. It was
well,
so
I can't take full credit for that. I finally am seeing what you've been describing of it's not about my ideas.
Right.
It's the team of people that I'm lucky enough to work with, and even deeper than that, like, you know, thinking of you ladies and how that space can serve the community. Like, what do people want it to be? For a while, I was like, what does the building want to be?
Right.
And that might sound strange to a lot of people, but when you're friends with people like Corinne, and I'm like, tell me what the building wants.
Right.
It makes sense. But now I can see it as a what do the people want? What's the need? What's lacking? And what can we do in that space that will fill that void?
I love that. And so you guys are all teaming up to do something here really soon. Kelsey, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. So about 7 months ago now, I was in a car accident and totaled my car, ended up having to have surgery, whole 9 yards. And I've been lucky enough to do one benefit show at Mosey's. But then I had the offer from these two lovely ladies to do another benefit show. So not only are we going to have like a singer-songwriter style, like live music setting where you'll be able to like listen and appreciate the music, but we're going to have a raffle with a silent auction. You can win like a basket from Current,
nice.
or singing lessons from Calliope,
right?
Or
parasailing.
Also, you were just talking about Corinne. She's got a Soul Channel session that you can win. So there are a lot of fun prizes, and it all goes to my medical bills, which is, you know,
big.
America, and the healthcare system is not all it's cracked up to be.
No.
So.
And sometimes, and you know, I don't want to get ran off the air, but in this town especially, I just went through nothing really, a kidney stone. You'd think, oh, that's easy. But trying to get in to see a urologist in this town was like murder.
And especially if you don't have health insurance.
Right.
I got very lucky. I happened to be shopping, like thrift shopping, on the very last day that you could sign up for health insurance. And someone on the other aisle from me, we're just chatting, being girls, and next thing I know, I'm squatted between clothing racks giving my Social Security number to set up for insurance on the very last day. And thank God, because my bill would have been over $54,000 if I had not had that insurance.
Yeah, wow.
We would have been having to raise a whole lot more money.
Yeah. So, Calliope, what are you're going to be part of this project? You're going to be singing? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kelsey and I, as you know, are both singer-songwriters. Yeah. And I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to share some music that has been on my heart, that I will soon be recording my debut full-length album with.
Right.
But the past 7 weeks, I've been touring pretty heavily with my children's interactive musical.
Right.
So it's nice to kind of take a turn and share some music that is on my heart
Mm-hmm.
in the name of my friend Kelsey, who is also on my heart so often and inspires me in really beautiful ways. And instead of just like, people showing up and this is a listening room and, my artistry must be received by everyone here, it's going to be a little bit more casual. Kelsey and I are going to be up there, bantering like this.
Oh, I love it.
And she'll do a song, and that'll inspire the next song I choose, which will inspire the next song she chooses. And I'm sure there will be a lot of stories about the origins of these songs. So that can always be a fun, exciting thing to
And this will be the
experience.
3rd time that we're sharing a stage together. Songwriter Festival for one, your backyard show with Wanda for the other, and then this will be the 3rd time. So it's going to be a charm.
Wow. Yeah. No, it sounds awesome. So we're going to have music. You mentioned a silent auction and raffle and all the things that you can get. Is there a cost to come to it? Like, so is it a ticketed thing where people buy a ticket, or do they donate at the door? How does that work?
I really wanted everything, all the events, to be free to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward with a normal, not that this isn't normal, but a typical situation, I would like to pay the facilitator or the artist and let it be free to the public. But in this situation, a suggested donation when it's helping a friend.
Absolutely.
And that's $10, but obviously you can give her more money. We should have just a jar out for extra money for Kelsey.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just want to comment on 2 things, actually. The first thing is, if these songs that these ladies sing don't make you cry, I'll be surprised. They both make me cry every time they sing. And I also want to brag, because I mentioned that I met Calliope through this building, essentially. But do you remember when Black and White Tavern was opened downtown? Such a great spot. And I waited tables there and met her dad and stepmother and told them what we were doing, which back then were like, we want to have musicians and artists. And he said, you've got to meet my daughter. And thank God that Hercules introduced me to his beautiful daughter. And she played at the shop, and we were just everyone in there was jaw-dropped at what came out of this tiny woman. Powerful. And we've been so close ever since. It gives me chills. And then Kelsey doesn't remember this, but I will never forget. When you first started posting your videos on Facebook of you singing and you wouldn't even have your face in it.
I was terrified.
I know. I messaged you and said, and this was when you had just been doing things with Rob, and I was like, oh my gosh, you've got to come play at the shop. And you were like, I'm not ready for that. And now you've already played there once for our,
I have, yes.
And we called it an intimate evening with Kelsey and Tyler, because the space is so small. It really needs to be a listening room situation.
Absolutely.
You've got to plan on sitting and paying attention to what's going on. And that night was
lovely.
lovely.
Cozy spot. You want to just be sitting in there, in the floor on a pillow, holding hands with your friends, and just relaxing in there. It's such a beautiful spot.
I'm so glad that you're willing to do this again. It's going to be so much fun.
I was honored. Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, downtown there's so many events. I think in the music locally, I think people don't know until they know. But once you see how much local talent we have, it's really impressive. So especially on the singer-songwriter front, I'm super excited for this. I want to talk a lot more about it. I'll tell you what we're going to do is take a little break. That way we don't get too deep in a conversation, because we'll get there and it'll be hard to get out. So let's give a moment for the sponsors. You're listening to 90.7 WKGC. I'm Jayson Kretzer, and this is Creative Conversations. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Creative Conversations. We didn't go away. We're still here. I'm Jayson Kretzer. You're listening to WKGC. I have 3 guests in the studio with me, Sarah Bailey, Kelsey Iman, and Calliope Pettis. And I'm so happy to have you guys all in here at one time. I don't think we talked. I know you've been a guest on the show before, but I think I may have skipped you earlier when I said, tell me a little bit about yourself. If you don't mind, just give us a quick revamp of who is Calliope.
All right. Calliope Pettis was conceived in this very town.
In this room? No.
No, likely on a waterbed. But yeah, I've been here my whole life, and like even before I was alive.
Nice.
Here in Panama City. Wow.
Sorry.
We make it awkward.
Hey, that's
We were
the
just
best kind.
talking about
We're all really good at
we
that.
should have made a bet of who was going to say something silly first.
Okay, I guess I win.
Now I want a waterbed. And I had one, and they really were quite lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was born and raised here, and then I went off to the University of Montevallo to study opera. My grandmother was a big music teacher in town, and so I love every opportunity I get to speak to the older generations in this town and receive stories from that. I was also thinking about the walls at Current and what those walls have seen, what those bricks, what stories are within the history of the building. And when the ceiling was put on, when it went from an alleyway to a proper building, and all that is held when we can honor the past and the present and envision for the future with our brothers and sisters in this community. I love this town so much. I have lived a lot of places, and this is the one that inevitably feels like home every single time because of the people in my life here.
She'll make you cry, y'all.
I know it.
And
She starts with the silly and then brings it with the heartfelt, like a real storyteller.
Laughing and crying. I think it's worth it to say also that I had only ever done open mic night performances before Sarah invited me to what was Blasted Screen Prints at the time. It was my very first show, and it was magical. And as that space has transformed, I'm so grateful to have infused it with many different melodies and rhythms, and to have watched your voice grow, and to have watched you grow and reimagine and re-envision so many things there. And yeah, I love this community. It's special, and community is about the people in it. So.
Oh, absolutely. So what do you guys think about our current creative energy in the community? I know it's very positive. Things are going. Do you feel like it's shifting, growing, evolving? What are your thoughts on current energy? Not current.
No. But isn't that fun?
It is fun.
Okay, well, everyone's looking at me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think
I'm
that...
just staring at you because you're so pretty.
It's all right. I think what comes to mind for me is these big movements, like all the things that you do through Bay Arts and the Center for the Arts and Redfish and the Songwriters Festival, like these really big organized things that are so needed. And they're almost like these touch points throughout the year that we are like looking forward to and planning for.
Right.
And then in between, there's all this other, and it just has more of like a, I don't know the right word, but underground, I guess is good. Like
Processing.
What?
Processing? That's what I'm thinking about, because there's always something moving, something that's always in process. And there are these big keystone moments where it's like, okay, everybody look. But if you're looking closely in the times in between, you get to witness the creative process unfold.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And I left out Public Eyesore in those big events because that's a wonderful one. But yeah, I love both layers and everything in between. I think we've got just really cool people in this town, and I've been honored to see lots of different facets of the community, and then being part of the art nonprofit and getting to play in that realm of creating a big thing has been a challenge and honor. So I'm just really, I kind of look around and I'm like, gosh, how did I get so lucky to do what I do? It's really fun.
I feel that.
Yeah, I know you do.
That's a good part to break on, because I want to come back and talk more about that. We'll talk more about the benefit, how people can participate or get involved if they want to. We'll be right back after a few messages. This is Jayson on Creative Conversations, WKGC.
80-year-old Bob Becker became the oldest person ever to complete the grueling Badwater 135 ultramarathon last week, starting in Death Valley's sweltering heat and covering 3 mountain ranges.
When you hit that finish line and you actually have reached your goal, you're half exalted and half falling apart.
How Becker ran 135 miles in just 48 hours on the next All Things Considered from NPR News.
Weekdays at 3 p.m. on WKGC.
What kinds of things should you make time for in your next vacation to give you lifelong memories that'll make you smile?
They didn't take place at the big bucket list sites. They took place between the bucket list sites.
Get a local's advice for an excellent weekend getaway in Brussels.
Brussels is a town that attracts such a wealth of cultures.
And listeners describe what's special about where they live on the next Travel with Rick Steves. Listen Sunday afternoons at 2 on 90.7 FM, WKGC Public Media.
All right, welcome back. That was a long break. It felt like.
So rested.
Yeah. This is WKGC. You're listening to Creative Conversations. I'm Jayson. I have Kelsey, Calliope, and Sarah in the studio with me. We're talking about the new business Downtown Current. We're talking about Singer-Songwriters. And we're talking about this benefit. I don't know if we said the name.
Oh, I've called it the broke back benefit.
Nice.
Because my back was broken,
right.
And it's punny.
Yeah. Yes, we have a laugh track.
And they put it right next to me. Y'all
Our budget's going up. We have a laugh track. I remember, seriously, 20 years ago, I was working at the Visual Arts Center, hanging art, but I was a contracted illustrator at the time, and my wife said something about, because I was working for myself, and if I would ever take a job, and I said, there's one job in this town that I would think about taking, and it was Bay Arts Alliance director. Jennifer Jones had it at the time. I said, I'd be interested in that, but that's it. I just put it in the universe and accidentally fell into it.
It was no accident. It was all by design.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is. I couldn't agree more. I love this town. I think I'm so fortunate to have come back downtown when I did because, we got hit by a storm. But, we all stood out there. And we're like, this is an opportunity. This is a way that we can now turn this town into where we want it to go. And every one of you have been a huge part of that. I'm thankful to you. But I would like to hear your thoughts on, Kelsey, what are your thoughts on the energy right now in downtown?
I feel like it is stronger than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just because of what I went through with the wreck, but I have felt and seen so many people step up to, be there for me, for each other, to, support each other. People are coming together creatively and, expanding on other things. There's so much crossover between all of the different facets in the art community, and it's just, it makes it so much better.
Oh, yeah.
When we all come together.
I agree. Would you agree, too?
Absolutely. I mean, my nieces and nephews will grow up in a better Panama City than I grew up in, and I think it's a direct result of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it really, we all know we need each other, and we all kind of come together. But whenever you really, really, truly experience something so devastating and destructive together, you're like, okay, all we actually can do is come together and create beauty now. And I think it got everybody. It's kind of like a clean slate to get everybody on the same page.
Well, I think it's so hard to ask for help.
Yes.
So when you whether it's unfortunate or not, whether when you enter in a situation that you are not only forced to ask for help, but you have other people offering, you're like, oh, it is anti-community to not accept help from my peers, and then to also not return it to those same peers, when they need it.
Absolutely. So what does that word, creative community, those words mean to you? In one word or phrase, what does that mean? It's a weird question, but
everything. It just means everything. The creative community is a part of my friend group and a part of my family and a part of my job and a part of my home, and I can go in to, creative spaces or be around creative people and just know that I'm going to be safe and I'm going to be embraced for who I am, just as they are going to be embraced for who they are as well, and what they bring to the table.
The phrase that comes to mind for me is mutual aid, because that's the thing with Current that I really want to hone in on is, again, what's needed, but specifically how can we show up for each other and be helpful in whatever that means at the moment. And so it's great that this is what we're doing for you.
And especially when you have a job that's like you own a business or you're you're an artist, you're not getting health care from your job, you're not getting all of these extra benefits, so you are forced to rely on your community, which, like, thank God for all of y'all.
And I do think that having a space on Main Street comes with a responsibility.
Agreed.
And so I feel good about the things that are on the calendar, and I'm really proud of what we're all doing.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are really. I'm excited to see where Currents goes. I think you've got a really unique thing there.
I'm excited to have another place for mocktails because I don't drink. I've been sober for a few years, so I love having fun little drinks that it's not. I love a good soda water, but I need something. I want a Molotov mocktail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't throw the bottle at anything.
Right.
I will not.
We actually give it back to me because we will
love recycling.
Yeah,
exactly. In this economy.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too. I get asked this so much with my business downtown. Is like, are you guys going to serve alcohol? I think we have plenty of places to drink alcohol. I'm not against alcohol by no means, but I love the opportunity to have places where you can go and your drink is cool even though it doesn't have alcohol in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I applaud you for doing that. You just mentioned it, but I mean, was that part of your mindset there, or did you just I don't want to do an alcohol license?
That could be a whole show.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that what I would like to just say about it is there was movement towards serving alcohol, and there was a lot of energetic blocks around it for me and Kayla, who has been a huge visionary with all of the changes. And yeah, it was the same thing. And you and I have had this conversation in the past of like, we don't have to do that. There's other places that are doing that just fine. And people can bring their drinks over, now with the social district. Yeah. So, and at our grand opening last week, seeing people come up to the bar and ask for a beer or what kind of wine do you have? And just like, no, we're just mocktails. And then I was expecting some disappointment or, a different kind of reaction, but people are like, oh, okay, well, here, I'll try this Deeply Rooted. And then they loved it.
Yes.
And they had a great time. Like, nobody left because there wasn't booze.
Right.
And everybody had fun. And this feels important to note, too, as y'all are talking and talking about creative community, I have to take a minute and praise Gen Z because they have changed the world as far as I'm concerned. And now Alpha, Asher's he hates it. I'll say, you're an iPad baby. And he's like, no, I'm not. Because he definitely is an old soul and connects more with the generation above him. But I've had the honor of spending time with I say kids, but that's just because I'm old, but people from that age group. And, man, they are powerful, and they don't want alcohol. They want safe spaces where they can be themselves, just like you're saying, and get as weird as they want and do things their way. And so, back to that idea of let the team decide. Like, Jasper, plan some things, man, because you've got your finger on the pulse of everything, and I want to see what you'll do. So I just have to plug them.
And, when you live in this society, in this day and age, like, there's so many chaotic things going on in the world, and alcohol is a depressant. Like, I think we're all just kind of like, we're done being sad. So many of my friends are getting sober, and we're just like moving away from that because, man, it'll get you down.
Will.
Yeah. Well, back in the Moon Lodge days when I had a beer and wine permit, I definitely didn't need easy access to that because that was, tough times around here. So I'm really grateful to not offer it. Like, it feels like a statement in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. I want to get into something deeper, but I know we're going to come up on a break, and I'll be like, let's cut. But let me just say that this world often pits creatives against each other for limited resources, visibility. We are going through it at a state level with the arts, and even in this town, there's a limited resource, and then you feel like you're in competition with your other creatives that are your friends, and I don't really know where I'm going with that other than...
I have something to say that might kind of tie a knot on it. I know that my life and my creativity changed dramatically when I stopped seeing others as competition and started seeing them as collaborators. Because we are stronger together.
Absolutely, 100%. We were talking about, looking at each other as collaborators instead of competition, and I 100% agree. And when I first took over Bay Arts, that was my thought. Everybody's a collaborator. Then you hit the harsh realization that it's not the creatives sometimes that pit each other against each other. It's the money or the people that's like, you'd be surprised at the conversations I have to get involved in. I know me and you've talked about it.
It ruins everything.
It does. And so I would love to think about, and I love this idea of the benefit, I guess I should say, that it's bringing people together. Because when we're together, when we're collaborators, we're all going to rise. And so I love this benefit idea. What other things do you guys have coming up besides this? So this will be, I want to say it again, Thursday, July 17th at 6 p.m.
424 Harrison Avenue, directly across from the place.
Nice. So, what else do you got coming up? You got some more shows later this month. Kelsey has already said she's not good with dates.
I'm not a good calendar person. I have to have it in front of me. We do have, I would imagine, a few shows coming up. I've been taking things a little easy because I just got out of the surgery and all that fun stuff. I've been in the studio at Mike and Maggie's house, or Maggie's Musical Farm. Cody Jod Bennett has been helping me produce and record an EP.
Nice.
So we've been working on that.
Yeah. What about you, Callie? You got some stuff. I know you've been touring a lot with their current show.
49 shows down, 5 more to go.
Oh.
And I'm going to take a very long nap.
Yes. You've earned it.
Indeed. Locally, I don't know what else I've got coming up locally, but something I'm really excited about is playing for this World Peace Music Festival up in Nashville at the end of August. So
it's very cool.
That'll be fun. I know that Nashville is such an interesting place, and sometimes it feels like the industry beast of music lives there. But this particular festival is on the outskirts of town on this beautiful piece of land, and I feel like so much of seeing others as collaborators and healing as a society and not being afraid of our sensitivity has to do with kind of getting back to nature and kind of grounding into that.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got going on, and then
good stuff.
Yeah. I do have to plug something we've got coming up this weekend at the Panama City Center for the Arts, because that building that we're in is 100 years old this year. So it was built in 1925. Me and it are the same age. And and so we're having what we're calling a garden party. The ticket prices are a shocker, but it's because it's a fundraiser. So this year we've done Fright Nights, our Halloween, scary haunted house for 3 straight years. Charged to get into it. But I didn't like that model because we're free to the public. And for October, we suddenly closed down the whole building to build, which frankly was too much for me.
They're so good. God, they're good.
So we're still going to build, but instead of charging a big admission, we're going to create 2 pieces in the Center for the Arts. Upstairs will be the Art of Frankenstein, which will include we're doing a call to artists, any kind of art that revolves around Frankenstein. And then downstairs we're building an immersive Frankenstein lab. So you'll walk through the doctor's lab. You'll go to the next room where the monster's coming to life, and in the third room you can take a picture with the actual monster. And so it'll be Frankenstein.
Are you the monster?
I am a monster, I reckon.
Just not the monster.
Not the monster. I'm not that scary. I'm just ugly. But it works.
I don't know why I'm imagining a spooky Mr. Potato Head.
Oh.
That's what came to mind when you said you could build a monster.
Oh, yeah. Yes. But and we will have a lot of Frankenstein art projects and crafts, and we're going to have a scavenger hunt through downtown where you piece together the monster through. Hopefully we can get Kern involved. So all that's to say that Frankenstein is cool enough that it's still a little scary, but it's also family friendly-ish as well. So one of the big problems we had with Fright Nights is lots of people are like, yeah, I don't do scary, so I'm not coming in. Yeah. And so it was sad. You know how it feels. You build something and then some of your friends are
won't
like,
see it.
They won't see it.
I sit outside the entire time.
No.
I said, I'm not going in.
Well, I helped put
You
a
did,
part of
yes.
one together and was terrified the whole time. We were in there at night one night, and it was bad. There was a crashing sound, and then it's like, oh yeah, the building. Talking to your staff, the building's haunted. So I say they're great, but I really could hardly get through because they were so scary.
Right. And I love it, and we may come back to it. But for now, we decided to go back, and that way we'll be open all month. So we don't ever have to close the building because when we closed in October, we couldn't do classes. Our kids' studio that's open, free to the public, people couldn't come in. So there's a lot of sacrifice for that money.
Now you're serving the community and not the building.
Yes.
Or I guess you're also serving the building as well.
Yes. The downside is we lost a lot of revenue. So we're having the garden party. And so we're selling business memberships and tickets, and we're going to have good food. We're going to have live artists working. Javaria, who is our main wheel thrower, pottery teacher, is going to be throwing on the wheel, and we're going to have scarf dyeing and a youth orchestra and dancers, and so a little bit of everything. So I think it's still going to be great. And look, if you are downtown and you're like, I don't have $100, just come on, come check it out. We're not trying to cut it off to people. We're just trying to raise funds. And so super excited about that. That's Saturday, July 19th, 6 p.m. The benefit with Kelsey is July 17th at 6 p.m. And those are our events.
Open your hearts and your wallets.
Yes, absolutely. And invite your rich friends.
Yes.
So let's talk more about the auction real quick. Not the auction. Well, maybe the auction. Is it too late? Is it too late for people to get involved or to donate things for the auction?
Not at all. I had people dropping off stuff at the last benefit. I've got extra sheets printed out because I'm proactive, so I'll just put your information down on the sheet if you'd like to donate something. That's right off for business, so, mutually beneficial.
I mean, they could just drop it off at the shop while we're open, and we'll set it to the side for Thursday.
Love it.
The more the merrier.
So why do you guys think events like this, where artists are supporting other artists, I know we've kind of said it, but I just think it's important to say why is it so important? Why?
I mean, I think it validates our artistic community. So many people view the arts as like not a real job, and for the past few years, the art has all that's how I pay my bills.
Right.
That's how I've gotten it all done, and I've found so many opportunities from these like small communities of people that just keep furthering everything.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps expand the definition of what art is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something I was thinking about when you were describing the event this coming Saturday. It's, it is putting your hands in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It is painting something. It is putting your hands on an instrument. It's all of these things, and it is the art of community and the art of conversation, which is something that's increasingly hard these days.
Oh, yeah.
To really have a conversation.
Especially with like all of the short form content that the internet's pushing out, to be able to like sit down and have an elongated conversation with your peers.
Mm-hmm.
It's an art.
I mean, you guys are just summarizing my whole reason for wanting to do the things that we're doing with Current.
Yeah.
And what's coming to mind for me is over the past several months, if you were following my Tarot Tuesday post, you would have seen me say over and over again, we need each other. We need each other. And that has been growing and building in my body, the recognition that there's a lot of us, them happening, and scarcity mindset, which is what you were referencing with this idea of competition that doesn't really exist.
Right.
We create that in our mind because we think that there's limited resources. And I guess in some ways there are, but not when we're talking about what we're discussing today.
Oh, and not when the community's coming together. Like, whether you're, you've got a friend that's just starting out in gigs and they're getting way less money than what they deserve to be getting, or, you're opening up resources. Like, I have all of the music that I will have recorded has been heavily helped by, like, other people out of the goodness of their own hearts. Like, we're not in it to gouge each other for money. We're in it to, like, help each other succeed and, like, hold our hands while we're doing it.
I love it. I would like to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to have one final break, and we're coming back, and the last segment's going to be Boogie Out. Don't go anywhere. This is WKGC 90.7. Creative Conversations, and we'll be right back.
MIT's Sherry Turkle says people are getting attached to chatbots because they're less judgmental than humans.
But when we seek out relationships of no vulnerability, we forget that vulnerability is really where empathy is born.
Hear from the prophets of technology in a special series. That's next time on the TED Radio Hour from NPR.
Saturdays at 9 a.m. on WKGC.
Next time on Real Talk, we're reviewing the remake-reboot of the 90s horror classic I Know What You Did Last Summer. What are you waiting for, huh? Join the conversation Monday at 1 Eastern, 12 Central on 90.7 WKGC.
All right. Welcome back. For the last time today. That's the last time I'm going to say that. Welcome back. From now on, it's just going to be goodbyes. No.
Hogwash. No. I'm going to say it again. I'm 87 years old.
No. We should bring it back.
I think so.
You can make hogwash happen.
I think you could.
Determined. I'm back to when you reached out when you were doing the Creative Con, and you're like, would you want to, and this, the back to the storm too, that ended that opportunity.
Yeah.
But, he had messaged me about being part of that, and again, I was just like, who, me? No. And that, over the past few years, that has been a really powerful thing to recognize that it's sort of our birthright to create. We're all artists. We just don't feel comfortable with that word for whatever reason.
Imposter syndrome.
Oh my gosh, all day with teaching yoga or even opening a business. Like, who do I think I am? But I would love to see through the space more people who don't feel that about themselves to go, actually, yeah, I can do this thing. So I want to get into more workshops too of having people making things. And Anima, that the goal there is to recognize the connection of our soul's journey here on this plane and what creative process actually plays in that and how vital it is in growth and learning and just being.
Yeah.
Empowerment.
Yeah, I think
expression too. Like, I'm sorry, I cut
you
off.
Please.
That's also another thing too when we were talking about what we have coming up. Just Friday, right after the benefit, it's our first, and I don't even have an actual title yet, but Express Yourself keeps coming, and this one's going to be a poetry reading.
Oh, nice.
And so I want all kinds of different things that can fall under that category, because what I'm seeing through that space and just the people who come in, people are grieving. We're wanting to lament in congregation. We need that, and people have things they just need to get off their chest. So if
100%.
you just need to come cry in Current, you will not be the first or the last person that sits and cries in that space. And I'm an ear for you, whatever you have to say.
Start charging for tissues.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something that's really strong in my heart, and imposter syndrome. And I think it's important. Sometimes people don't even know what that means. You know, I mean, I have my son was listening to this show, and I can't remember if it was our episode or the one right before it. I think it was Morgan Summers, and we were talking a lot about imposter syndrome. And my son texted me, my wife did, and said he doesn't know what that means. So, do you guys have a good definition of imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is like when you introduced me as a singer-songwriter, I'm like, that's not me. Like, you are so wrapped up in your own head that you can't even admit to yourself that you are the title of what you are.
Right.
And whether it's because, you know, you think someone's better at it than you are, or you think that, you know, what you're doing isn't good enough to fit, it's, I think that almost every person who is artistic that I know struggles with it. For Morgan Summers to struggle with imposter syndrome, she is like the most talented, hardworking, like creative person I know. She paints, she sings, she crafts, she does it all, and she's also online very open about her struggles with imposter syndrome and not feeling enough. And if she can do it, my goodness. Woo.
No, absolutely. I thought whenever you mentioned her name, I'm like, man, if she feels it, then everyone listening should know that it's human nature. And it's sad that it's human nature, and I don't really know why that's the case, but I know when I was experiencing it, and I really first noticed it when I started teaching yoga, I'm just like, ugh. My voice. Do I have the right words? Do I really know it enough to share it with anyone? And so this applies to everything. Yes, you know it enough to share it. You do. But yeah, just doubting that and feeling that talent is somehow outside of you and you have to prove or earn it, and that's just hogwash because we're born with it.
So,
thinking about Current getting a pig and washing it out back.
Oh my gosh, with buttermilk.
A good old-fashioned hogwash.
Yeah.
For the next mocktail.
What does it mean? Okay, I'm going to dig into
Googling
the etymology of it. Yeah.
I love it.
Come on, we need to wash hogs.
Man, I don't even want to go back to the imposter syndrome conversation because it's so sad.
I do have something to say about it, maybe a light.
Yeah.
I feel like the earnest part about imposter syndrome is acknowledging I have so much more to learn.
Right.
And if you let the process be the learning and the celebration, then I think it can be not necessarily. It's a different perspective on a similar feeling.
I love that.
That's what I wanted to share, because if you really feel like you've got it figured out and you know everything,
you don't.
There's doubt serves a purpose.
Right.
And as long as you can acknowledge it and channel it into something instead of letting it bog you down, I think it can be beautiful.
Oh.
It can be something to propel you forward.
Well, even hearing you say that, it is the process. The process is the whole point. And how many of us... That's right. Oh, that sounds like a good song. But, I mean, how many times have we looked at something, whether it's a song or a painting or a project, and gone, it is finished? That's hard.
Never.
I know. And so it is the process. That's where all the magic happens. And I don't mean that you don't know it. I didn't mean to cut in and say it like that, but yeah, I mean that rings true for everything. If you feel like you've got it all figured out, then you probably need to go back to square one.
Right.
Take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think aside from just the professionals or the artists feeling that imposter syndrome, I think I think we're all creative, and I think every single person in the world is creative. They may not be a painter. They may express that in a different way. But the saddest thing I used to see, and I've told this story a few times, but it's when I was a cartoonist, I would get asked to speak at schools. And it was great, but first question I would ask the students is, who's an artist? Who can draw? And the younger kids, every hand goes up. But by the time you hit middle school and high school, society has told them that they are not the ones that can draw. And so I'd ask that same question, and like 2 hands would go up, and everybody would just point at them. They wouldn't raise their hands, they would point at someone else. And so I think that is another problem that we kind of face, is that society tells you that only certain people are born creative or something, and I don't agree with it, but I'm interested to hear.
Hogwash.
Yeah, so it's hogwash. We all agree.
You need a hogwash button on it.
Yeah.
It's making me think of a creative young friend of mine named Leo, and they are 13, and I just heard the story about a painting that they're working on, and it sounds like it's just going to be amazing. But their grandmother told me that they were saying, I just don't want to make a mistake. Oh. And luckily, they have this grandmother who said, you can't. Because it's your expression. So whatever you do is right. And so perfectionism creeps in. I see it with my kids in their artistic expression of like wanting it to be perfect and then letting that be a hurdle for doing it at all.
And comparison is absolutely a thief of joy. Mm-hmm. I once read something that talked about the reason that you think your art or your writing or whatever is so boring is because you sat with it for so long. It's new to other people. It's fresh to other people. Like you're never going to write like your friend, but that's what makes it good is that you are now creating a new like avenue for yourself. And as long as you have people around you to like at least encourage you to keep going, maybe not to like go so far as to like feed in a delusion where you're like, this is actually horrible and you probably shouldn't put it out. But like, if you've got people around you that like love you and can support what you're doing, it helps you internally be like, okay, maybe I am an artist.
Mm-hmm. And in the day of AI, I feel like the maker's mark, the thing that makes it human, is what makes it beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
An AI side note, I watched my son. We've had this conversation a lot because I'm anti-AI big time. And he has used it, and I recognized that he's like the conductor, and he's pulling in. He was writing a comic, and he was using AI-generated images to, I mean, he came up with the vision, and he plugged it in and pulled it up. And at that point, I understood.
Right.
It made sense.
Yeah,
how you can use
I get that question a lot, especially being a representative of the arts. And I was a comic book illustrator for 20 years. And so I believe AI is another tool. I believe it can be misused. It's also misrepresented sometimes. I think people think that, if you use AI, you're just stealing from all these other artists. But I have a bad story to tell you guys. I've always been stealing from other artists. We all do. Like my first.
Thank you for being so honest.
Yeah. The first style I ever drew was because I wanted to draw Garfield. Like that comic. When I saw it, I was like, "That's amazing."
Well, in a way, that's collaboration because you're inspired by other artists.
Yes.
You can create in such a way that makes someone else feel like, "Oh, I can do this too."
Right. Absolutely. So I think the bad part of AI is taking AI and creating something and saying, this is what I did.
I think another bad part of AI is the havoc that it's wreaking on the environment.
Right.
From the supercomputers that are using for this, you can like in some of the areas where they have some of the large supercomputers, you can taste chlorine in the air.
Ouch.
And it's only helping contribute to global warming. So if y'all want to keep sweating, keep using AI.
Well, also the cryptocurrency and all of that, it's the same thing. Those big servers are just powerhousing.
Yep. I wonder why we're in a heat wave right now.
It's terrible. I wish we could go back, but we can't. And we'll see where we end up.
Where would we go back? Where would you want to go back?
For me, the 80s, son.
They were the best.
They felt like the best, but when you're young and you don't know anything, I mean, we didn't get the news that we get now.
Exactly.
You know?
Even the 90s, being old enough to have some actual freedom and only have a pager.
Right.
And you didn't have to respond, That was true freedom.
I'll tell you, when I was just starting college, Adobe Photoshop 5.5 came out, and it had made some things that were automated in it, and I was like, oh, this is bull crap. Like, I draw this way, and now this person's going to do this and make it. So I think some of it is I get frustrated because I'm like, it's so easy for you. You should learn the traditional means.
Sounds old.
That's the old.
Yeah.
I'm not a boomer, but I am an Oregon Trail generation, so we're kind of those.
Are you Gen X or are you a I'm an older millennial.
Zennial, whatever you call them.
Okay.
So I'm right there on the cusp, late 70s. So you're talking, they call it Zennials? Is that what it's called?
We're just Gen X, man.
Huh?
We can.
Yeah. Well, I read it as there's a cusp right there, and they said the Oregon Trail generation. It's the generation that first had computers in school, didn't have computers in school, and then had them. Didn't have computers at home, and then had them, and then the internet.
Yeah, 1980. So same.
Yes.
Good times.
I know, perfect. So anyway, where were we? We were about to get on this crazy debate.
I just wanted to go back in time to simpler things as we're talking about the environment getting wrecked by super servers. So I'm just like, let's talk about something
I think we really ought to go back to the time before any of us were alive. Pre-industrial revolution.
Yeah, back in the 1940s when everyone was happy.
Oh my God!
Right?
I know.
You know, I mean, hey,
the
if you do not know your history, you are doomed to repeat it.
That's
They're trying to take away our rights as we speak.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's scary. Every time period has its challenges. This one feels most extreme because maybe because we're in it. Maybe for people that were dealing with different things through history, they were like, man, I wish I could go back to the time when it was good.
The 1860s.
Yeah. But ultimately, we're here, and I got to tell you, it feels like a good time to be creating, regardless. And, you know, so I'm excited for everything that y'all are doing downtown. What is some advice that you would give someone who's looking to start a community arts project, or maybe something you've learned from your journey that you would want to pass on to someone else, an up-and-coming singer-songwriter, somebody looking to start their own business? Got any words of wisdom?
I think that we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all wanting the same thing, or, you know, to reach our goals, whatever they may be, and just to, like, don't be afraid to find other people doing the same things as you. Don't be afraid to show up alone to a workshop event, or, you know, reach out to a friend that, hey, like, I know you're not usually in this art field, but would you mind, like, helping me bounce some ideas off or whatever? Just, like, being able to find that community and find people to hold you accountable and sign you up for events behind your back because you're too scared to do it. Like, that has very much helped me. I would not have even been here today if it wasn't for people making me play music and commenting and messaging, being like, you have a good voice, you should do this. Yeah, I think you should just...
We want to see your face.
Yeah.
Now you probably just like, you're, all right, I've had too much of it.
No,
right.
Never.
Yeah, create more than you consume. That is what's coming to me right now.
That's great. That's great.
And create even if you don't feel like creating. The more that you do it, the more it becomes like a muscle memory kind of thing.
Well, and it's that expression that I think everyone really collectively we're feeling the tension and we're feeling the need to do something. Like, what can we do? And maybe going and starting a new business might be too big of a task, but you can do something. And whatever you're feeling called to do, that's what you should do. And you can't mess it up. You can't do it wrong because you're the one creating it. And so whatever is created is the perfect thing. And I just want to say that all of this, everything that we've talked about, even the things that have led into the sad realm, really does speak to what we're all trying to do, which is we see that our systems are failing us, and we know that if we want anything to be different, we have to do it. And so we're doing it. And I'm just really proud of all of you.
I
love you guys.
What a great bow to put on this show. Again, we've got the benefit happening at Current Downtown, July 17th at 6 p.m.
Correct.
That's, if you're listening right now, that's tomorrow. And then we've got the big thing at the Center for the Arts that you can check out on Saturday. And so as we close today's conversation, I always like to say a little piece. So let's carry this reminder with us. Creativity doesn't just live in the work we make, but it's in the connections we build while making it. Every lyric sung, every brushstroke shared, and new idea sparked. We find a rhythm that's bigger than one voice. It's the chorus of a community. Rising together, support each other, show up for one another. Remember, every new space, every new song, every moment of collaboration adds another layer to the beautiful art of this place we call home. Coming up next, we have Jazz in a Minor Key with Walter Hell, smooth sounds of jazz that's going to keep you grooving through the rest of your workday. Thank you to our team here at WKGC, my guests, Kelsey, Calliope, and Sarah. And thank you for giving us your lunch break. This is Jason with Creative Conversations on 90.7. And until next time, be kind and keep creating.
You're listening to 90.7 FM WKGC, Panama City.